Hey Nick, what does it feel like to be filming your dad?
Kind of surreal, but we're gonna have a good episode today. He has a lot of info to share.
I do. I'm not known as a minimalist.
This was one of the coolest episodes of VFX Artists React we've ever done, just because of this artwork was like here in our hands. We were reacting to physical, tangible material rather than something on a TV screen. And these are the original drawings.
The value of tactile stuff you can hold seems to be a theme that came out because I brought these prints of artwork that you can put on the wall. And you know, we still live in a physical world and we're trying to depict a physical world in the films we're making. And so there's just still something valuable about it. In the Minority Report mag-lev sequence, one of the ways that I found it really handy to get my head wrapped around it in the art department was by building a model. In this case, the aesthetic is restrained futurism, restrained sci-fi, pushed just enough so that it's fantastic and cool and feels like the future, but not so much that it feels fake. All of it needed to be grounded in reality.
That really is kind of like how we experience the passage of time, is like, we hear we're gonna have flying cars by the year 2015, and in this, we do, but not quite. We have mag-lev, but we still have highways, and
that's right.
We still have the Gap.
Welcome back to the Gap. How those assorted tank tops work out for you?
Here, you can see some photos of a simple paper and foam core model that I built. I even put some arrows on here, as you can see, to sort of specifically delineate the flow of traffic. We really had to almost go through the motions of designing it for real so that visually it would look plausible. And it was also great because I could work with Scott Farrar, the effects supervisor, to place our camera. So here we have some angles that kind of get right down in the tunnel, and that's actually very similar to the shot we see in the film. This was also helping to address a telecommunications problem because he was on location, I believe, down in LA, and I was up in the San Francisco ILM art department, and our video conferencing was really crude. They would already have had the prints like this FedExed down to them the day before.
Just like my school days, there were ways to reach people remotely, but they weren't super reliable, and you just kind of better get it right.
Pro tip to all of you concept artists out there, or anyone doing design work: labels. Who did it, what the date is, and version numbers, because they might not remember. Do them that courtesy of refreshing their memory by saying, this is what you saw last time, and remember we discussed you wanted me to change this, this, and this, so here is my new version where I changed those things. What do you think? And leave that conversation with a little recap, a little summary. That's gonna be bluer, that's gonna be smaller, and that's gonna be bigger. Gotcha, thank you for your time. Always thank your supervisor for their time, because their time is like gold.
There might be this preconception that when you're like a big picture person, you're like the person with your feet kicked up and you go, oh no, the cars should go sideways.
I wanted bluer, no, I wanted redder, no, larger, no, smaller, I'm not happy. Make me happy. You know, that kind of prima donna thing. It happens sometimes, but really that's not the reality. The reality certainly doesn't describe the job.
You're more like an air traffic controller. You're going, all right, this goes this way, this goes this way, I need you over here, I need you over here, and you're keeping everyone in balance.
You are. It also involves, however, aesthetics and creative vision and storytelling. The director really has to deliver all of that, and I will confess that as an artist who wanted to just show more of this cool world, I wanted more shots. I was always hoping for more shots, longer shots, wider shots. I wanted to see how it all worked and have more of the epic experience shown. And Spielberg exercised the restraint, which said, not for its own sake. Even the whole mag-lev chase scene where he's going, jumping from car to car, it is told in a minimum amount of shots. And we had to tell a lot of story visually in a very short amount of runtime. And we didn't have an endless budget, and we certainly didn't have an endless schedule. So we would design efficiencies into the way we modeled and built the buildings, basically make a couple of units and then mix and match and repeat the same units with some slightly different colors. So we wouldn't have to custom build all of these skyscrapers, because they're really background elements. And a modular architecture approach to city building is now used everywhere in games and in film for generating huge cities. In fact, it's done largely procedurally. Another scene that's really memorable in the film is that of what were called the spiders. Now, what ended up happening is This particular sequence ended up going to a different effects house. It went to PDI, but this was done early on as part of our bid sort of approval package. So I got the chance to do these fun sketches. This was from the early version of the script before we knew exactly what they were going to be, and we actually had been given some idea seeds that maybe they were not just machines, but that they had a biological, organic component to them. They were hybrid of some sort. We had to, at least in these early sketches, suggest how this complexity could fold back up into this neat little compact, smooth shape.
Would you start with like the disc shape and trapdoors and then try to explode something out of it? Or would you start with like the cool creature design and then be like, oh, well, how can I fold that up?
Kind of both. I would work both ends. First was what's the overall shape of the thing and how does it fit on the face in its expanded form. Then I would try and kind of reverse engineer it and see if it could plausibly fit back in.
It's like 3 problems to solve in one design.
Yeah. Again, coming back to the word design. It's not just about making pictures and making cool art. We are designing a solution to a problem.
Yes.
Design indicates that there is a challenge or a process that something you need to accomplish, and you are designing a way to do that. In this case, it's visual storytelling. I'm trying to tell the story of the main character who leaves his apartment here, and he comes down the on-ramp here and commutes into the city there. And that's a very important linkage right there between one sequence and the next sequence. And in some cases, when a physical prop is made, you do need to bring an actual industrial design sensibility to it and have it designed so it really can collapse on itself and fold up neatly. It is also really creepy. No one wants crabs or large beetles or tarantulas or whatever crawling on them. That's just not fun.
Well, this absolutely was fun.
Excellent. I'm so glad. It was fun to do this little extra with you guys.
Well, Mr. Laurent, in your own words, thank you very much for your time.
Indeed, and thank you guys.
I wish I had like smarter questions or smarter comments to give, but honestly, like it's just really, really cool getting to talk to you and like getting to see this stuff.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I really appreciate your appreciation for it. That's awesome. That's really great. Let's see what's under here. This is our own kind of
Gosh, I'm afraid you're gonna
archaeology.
accidentally rip it.
It's tape. It's tape.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna rip it. Just a bad drawing. I started it.
Dude, that's original and you just smudged it.
If I smudge it, it's okay.